Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to heal from narcissistic abuse. So if you're watching this video, it is quite possible that you have either been on the receiving end of narcissistic abuse, or that you are just perhaps curious about what narcissistic abuse is. If you are on the receiving end or have been on the receiving end of any kind of narcissistic abuse, however, I want to take the time to first encourage you and comfort your spirit by saying that I am extremely sorry that you have had to endure such, and I want you to know that you are definitely not alone and that help is available. There are specialists who can help you and who will listen to you and to understand your problems with your narcissistic handlers in your life. And though it may feel like no one will understand you or understand the complexities of your problem, because narcissistic abuse is so subtle and it happens over a long period of time for many people and it's difficult to catch, it is tempting to feel like nobody will ever understand you and that you are all alone in this battle. But I want to assure you that you are certainly not alone, and there are people out there who can help you and who do understand the complexities of narcissistic abuse. So please be comforted and know that you are not alone. If you really need help, reach out, seek help, pray, and you will find it. There is nothing new under the sun. And I also want to say that just by clicking on this video, it shows perhaps that you have the humility and the honesty and the desire to make things better for yourself and for others by first acknowledging that there is a problem with a narcissistic abuser in your life. So I want to congratulate you on that, because many people will not accept the fact that their loved ones or a friend or anyone in their life that they are close to or anyone that they know could potentially be a narcissist, because to admit that is throwing a red pill in the illusion of this world that lives in a sea of being blue pilled to death. So bless you for that, if that is your heart. When it comes to having a narcissist in your life, I understand from experience just how heavy, confusing, and difficult this can be. But taking the red pill of truth, though it has consequences and you may become isolated in this world, it will in the end bring true freedom, and truth is the first step to true healing. So stay encouraged and strengthen yourself in the truth, and when you hold fast to the truth, you will soon find yourself out of the journey, out of the narcissist matrix. So in the last video of part 2 of how narcissists create false realities, I mentioned very briefly in the conclusion of the video that my healing process, my personal healing process, was a lot like removing a virus from my computer. The computer being my mind, our emotions, and our spirit. I mean, us as human beings, I'm using this analogy as a computer to represent our mind and our emotions and our spirit. And that's the way I saw myself when I was enduring and getting healing from the narcissism in those around me and its effects that I needed to get healed of. So with this analogy, our computer is who we are. While the main subject of this video will be about dealing with narcissists, the subject matter of this entire video can be applied to any toxic person that you encounter as well. So I think it is best to explain this computer analogy. I'm going to put this right here on the screen for you guys to see. This computer analogy that I mentioned in the previous video in detail for a few minutes, so that those of you who are looking for help can really understand what healing from narcissism looks like and what you will have to do from a global perspective, or seeing the forest from the trees, so to speak. So when it came to getting healing, I had to first accept that the virus that I had on my computer, which is again my mind and my emotions, and perhaps even my spirit being the raw person for who God created me to be, that this virus was planted by the narcissist who presented to be a good computer programmer or a computer doctor who I could trust. The narcissist always claims to be something helpful or good, so they are a deceiver. If they pretended to be, or if they actually showed their true colors, then we would never buy into their viruses that they want to install onto their victims. So the narcissist in many ways is a computer hacker who loves creating malicious programs, and he loves installing them on the weaker victims because the narcissist loves to have a sense of power and pride in believing how intelligent they are or how fun it is to pride themselves as appearing to be a stable and strong person while making fun of their computer victims who are acting crazily because they installed a virus on there, and they think that is really fun to watch their victims self-destruct. So I'm going to put this here on the screen. Because when you install a virus on a computer, the computer will start acting crazy. You know, the icons will start acting nutty, and the internal programming and the coding will be messed up, and that will cause your entire graphical user interface to act up. And, you know, it's just a mess if you've ever had a virus or seen a virus on a computer. I am an IT professional, so I've had to clean out a lot of computers in my day and code and, you know, actually get in and try to get viruses out of many machines. So I understand how difficult it can be to not just get free from a computer virus, a literal computer virus, but also the virus of narcissism and the hacker who is the narcissist, who is trying to install malicious code onto your computer, which is who you are, your mind, your will, your emotions, your spirit, I should say, and your emotions. The narcissist uses natural human needs and desires such as romantic love, validation, family, sibling, or parental love, things such as success, and even God and freedom to get you to let them to install their Trojan horse virus onto your computer. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term Trojan horse, a Trojan horse is any type of malware which misleads the users of the computer of its true intent. So it looks something like a good phone or a computer application or a program or a file. And based on the name and the outward appearance of that program, it looks like it's fine and that it's helpful. But internally, it is filled with subtle, malicious code. And that subtle, malicious code will take over and manipulate your operating system or your computer. And in this case, the operating system is your beliefs and the thoughts that you have in your mind. So the narcissist, again, they always pretend to be something they're not to keep up the appearance, of something that they want everyone to believe that they are. So they are a Trojan horse in many ways, who comes in to infiltrate your mind and your beliefs and your sense of reality to try to get you to believe something that is totally not true. As with the picture on the screen, you see a person, and I'm pretending that this person inside of the computer is the narcissist, and they are trying to control you, and you are the computer. They're trying to control you through the voices and the thoughts that they are placing in your mind. Things that are not true, that you know to not be true, for example, or things that you know are true and things that they say are not. This is called gaslighting. And we may talk about gaslighting further in a different video, but I definitely encourage you to research that on your own time for better understanding. But this is the way that the narcissist is. They want to take over your computer, or who you are, and they want to install malicious code onto your software or your mind, and to try to get you to believe all sorts of things about you, about yourself, about the people around you. And it's all about control here. So this is what they do in a really, really subtle way. And you can see in the picture here to the right, this person is wearing a mask here. And I'm pretty sure that's anonymous, but yes, the narcissist goes anonymously, because they are a Trojan horse who wants to pretend to be something that they're not. So this is why the Bible equips us to handle these hackers by commanding us in verses such as 2 Corinthians 10:5 to bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. This verse also says that we, quote, cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, unquote. So the virus or the malware in this scenario is what the narcissist over time tries to get you to believe by implanting thoughts into your mind through their words or by using their behaviors to get you to believe something about yourself or about others or about something that is not true. So you are trusting this hacker, and the hacker comes into your house, he knocks on your door and says, hey, I have something that I can use to fix your computer. You know, I'm a trustworthy guy, and, you know, I've had this business, and, you know, I fix computers. And then you trust this person without first checking their credentials or anything. You don't test them. But even if you do test them, they can still deceive, and, you know, because that's what people do sometimes, is just lie. And you let them gain access to your computer. In other words, this person comes into your life. It could be a romantic partner or a coworker or anyone, a friend, and they say, hey, yeah, I like who you are, and, you know, we can be friends, and yeah, I'm into this stuff too, and, you know, that's really interesting how we have the same interests, and you guys just really kick it off hard. And then all of a sudden, over the years, once you guys get into a relationship or, you know, become best friends, you know, they start changing. Subtle things, they start changing, and their red flags will start popping up. And then you open up to them and you start sharing certain things with them, and then they start using that against you. And the narcissist, trust is really important for them. They try to get everyone to trust them. Which is why they have to hide who they truly are, just like this person wearing the mask. They keep a false appearance of who they really are, lest other people find out, so they lie about certain things all the time. And you said, or may say certain things like, didn't you say this last week, yada, 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 and they'll say, no, I didn't say that. And you're the one who's actually acting crazy, you know, it's not me, it's you, you know, and it's like, okay, and this is the way the narcissist argues, and they try to get you to believe things that are not true, and they try desperately, when you know for a fact, and even have proof many times, and they just will not allow the truth to rise or to convict them, because they get so much pride from trying to be this computer hacker that goes around installing and causing mischief and stuff like that. Or they just may be doing it to try to puff themselves up because they like the power. And they do that at the expense of destroying relationships. So you are trusting the hacker, the computer hacker, or the person who is a computer hacker, sorry about that, but they appear to be a computer doctor. And you keep returning to them for help. So if you truly do not understand how narcissism works, then you may very well feel like you are fallen victim to these people, and that they are sociopaths. In many ways, they are sociopaths. Now, one thing about the computer hacker, which is the narcissist who pretends to be a computer doctor, who is there to rescue you, or pretends to be a fine program that will make your life better, it is that they are so extremely subtle that they are actually slowly, and over the weeks or months or years that you spend with them, they are slowly downloading or implanting more malicious software into your computer. And when you give them access to your computer, just like with a real computer, you don't ever give someone access to your administrator account unless they have proven themselves to be trustworthy. Or you don't give someone access to your phone. You don't say to anyone, here you go, here's the password to my phone, you can unlock it, or here's the PIN number or whatever, or here's my bank account information, here, go ahead, and I know you need money, but here's my bank account, here, take as much money as you need. I'll trust that you only take as much as you need. Absolutely not. So just like with a real computer, you don't ever give someone your administrator access unless they have proven themselves to be trustworthy. So don't give anybody, likewise, access to your personal thoughts, your personal life, and the secrets that you have, meaning boundaries that you set in your life that are healthy and godly, unless you have done your homework and that person has proven themselves. Now, again, like I said earlier, it's important to note that no matter how careful we are, we can still be taken advantage of, because sociopaths do exist. Wolves do exist. And people do things just to cause mischief. Sometimes our accounts will be stolen. But the thing is that we take those preventive measures to make sure that that doesn't happen. And if and when it does happen, we know how to get out of it. And we know who we are. And this is why this video exists, because we can always educate ourselves more and more about how sociopaths think and how the narcissist thinks, so that we can expose them and protect ourselves and our families and our loved ones from their manipulation. So if a hacker does get into our system and starts downloading strange code, we have to cut contact once we wake up to the fact that someone is a hacker and realize what they are doing. We will talk about that more in this video for how to cut contact as we dive deeper into healing. So it would be very foolish to go back to that website that we got that virus from and, start re-downloading the software or codes or products or, wherever where we got it from and put it back on our computer because we liked the way the website looked or we liked one aspect of the program that we could use on our daily basis, but the program was actually still downloading malicious stuff into our drive. That would be very foolish. And likewise, we don't go back to the narcissistic person once we wake up to the fact that they are hackers and they are downloading and installing viruses on our computers. It doesn't matter what they give that is good. It doesn't matter if they provide a roof over your house, over your head, if they have money in the bank, if they promise you a successful future, if they buy you things, if they're in charge of your bank account, if they give you money, if they give you advice, if they give you love, if they give you acceptance, if they make your life feel like you have a purpose, if they make promises about the future, if you feel like they understand you like nobody else does, even if they know the Bible, even if they sharpen you spiritually, even if they possess all knowledge, all wisdom, all faith, all understanding, it does not matter what you get in return. Somebody needs to hear this. And I know I need to hear this too. Because we can get so caught up in this world and thinking that this life is just it. If we don't have a house, if we don't have a car, if we don't have love, if we don't have acceptance, if we don't have a job, if our kids get taken away from us, if our business falls apart, if I lose my health, whatever. We think that these things are so important that we will jeopardize truth, that we will jeopardize our self-worth, our God-given worth for these things in return that the narcissist or the abusive person or the toxic person is using as bait to get us to stay in relationship with them. No matter, I don't care who they are, if they're a parent, someone you've known for 50 years, a child, a spouse, it doesn't matter. I know I'm getting kind of hot on this topic here, but this is something that I take very seriously and that I want people to wake up, because if people can understand this, they will get free. And you who are listening to this video, I want you to understand that there is nothing, no material thing, no person, no human being in this life that if they are abusing you and they are tearing you down and they are causing you to move away from the truth, you do not stand for that. In my personal experience, my self-worth was so low. Right before I woke up to what was happening in my life and there was a narcissist in my life, that was causing me to believe all sorts of things about myself and about just the world in general that were not true. Not just the world, but about themselves in many ways. That was where truth really came like a freight train. And it was freeing when I saw that truth. I grabbed onto it. But the next section of that, the next part of that in my life, once I realized the truth, I had to start working on my self-worth and the way, understanding how God viewed me and not the way I was looking at life through the perspective that the narcissistic person in my life had wired me to see life. That's what I had to fight against. And because the narcissist knows that emotional ties exist and stuff like that, and that, relationships are there, and with relationships, there are very natural emotional things, connections that happen between two individuals and stuff like that. The narcissist knows this, and they pull those strings, and then they will blame you for being emotionally attached to them. It doesn't matter who it is, a parent, a spouse, whoever, a relative, a coworker. This is why you need to cut contact. Because the narcissist is desperately trying to get you, just like they try to get me, to believe in the virus, which is the false realities that they tried to get me to believe that I was too sensitive, that I was overly emotional, in many ways that I was just bipolar, that I was a liar, that I was immature, overall, that I really wasn't walking in the Lord, because how could I walk in the Lord and be a liar at the same time? How could I walk in the Spirit? That I was deceptive, that I didn't deserve anything, that I was unloving, that I was lazy, that I was inarticulate. The list just goes on. These things, this was the virus that I had on my computer that I didn't know where it came from. Before I woke up to the truth, before the Lord had shown me this, I had no idea where it came from. I just thought that I had a low self-esteem. So in many ways, to continue on with this analogy, I thought that my central processing unit, or my CPU, was badly built, or that my RAM, which is my memory, for those of you who are computer techies, you understand, what's being said here, that my computer RAM or my memory was really bad, and that the things that the narcissist denied that they did actually didn't really happen, even though I experienced them, even though I remembered them clearly. Or maybe I thought that, I thought that the power supply that I had was just shot, which was causing me to be weakened and to become tired, and I just thought that I was weak, and I wanted to give up. So if you are wondering what a false reality is, we define and explore what a narcissist false reality is. I just used that term a couple of times in this video. So I define what that is in the previous videos, and we uncover how they create false realities as well. So the false reality, or the virus that the narcissist creates, is a lot like a malicious program or a website on the internet, just to summarize this really quickly. So it's a lot like a program or a website that you find on the internet that you can click to download, and you are agreeing that you want that file installed on your computer when you accept the terms and agreements. Many times there are no terms and agreements. As soon as you click the download button, it's just boom, it's there. So it forces itself on your computer. But again, the many times that the viruses are installed on a user's computer or on your computer is usually something that you believe to be good and useful. It's a file that you believe is good, but it turns out that your whole computer, which is your mind, is being taken over by some kind of virus. Just like this picture here on the screen at the bottom. Your whole computer is being taken over by this virus and is being manipulated, and your thoughts are just not your thoughts, and you kind of start draining and losing yourself in many ways, because you're not really sure what's going on, because you have so many good programs installed on your computer. You're not sure where this came from. Many times a lot of people don't really know where it came from, because they've been in a relationship with the narcissist for so long. They don't really see that this narcissist is constantly, gradually, slowly, over time, downloading more and more malicious content into that computer, until over time he has total control over your thoughts and the way that you view life. This is a really deep concept, and this is why I'm using this computer analogy. I think it best serves the purpose for drawing this illustration. So many people are not sure where they got this virus from, why they're tired all the time, why their computer is so slow, why their computer is confused constantly. It's because the virus is manipulating the core. The computer has a hard time booting up in the morning to work, just like many people are depressed and they don't have the energy to do anything. And many times the computer, it just doesn't want to run at all. It will shut down, it'll start restarting in the middle of the night, it's just acting up. It's just because there's a virus that needs to be taken care of, and we're going to get into that now. Satan wants to kill, steal, and destroy, and he wants to take us out. He uses the narcissist as a tool to gain power over us and to implant thoughts in our minds and divide our loved ones against us, and or friends or our coworkers or anything, to try to ruin us in our lives. And he does this to try to get us to think that we are actually the ones who are crazy, immoral, too sensitive, or anything of the like. And in reality, we are none of these things. So this is the way that narcissists try to bring down strong people. They try to get them to believe something that isn't true. So the narcissist is doing Satan's work, because what the narcissist is doing by installing these viruses onto your hard drive or onto your computer, they are corrupting how God designed you to be programmed to begin with. And that has to do with the love that you have for other human beings, the desire that we all have to have joy, to have peace, to be strong, to be confident, to be righteous, to be pure, and to be innocent, to have freedom, to think clearly, and to be successful according to God's ways in his life, and to have life. The narcissist is none of these things. So she or he wants to destroy others by getting them to believe things without actual evidence, by what is called gaslighting. Again, we'll talk about that in a later video. But the narcissist placed that virus there within you by the false realities by accepting that the computer doctor or the fine program that you had in your life was actually a hacker, and that you have to accept that you've been lied to. And again, like I said, if you're watching this video this far, especially if you're watching it this far, you're watching this perspective from the, I'm sorry, if you are watching this video from the perspective of wanting to get free or to get help for others, it shows that you are most likely a healthy person, because you're accepting in humility that you believe the lie and that you desire to get healing or to help someone else get healing. So I congratulate you on that. So with all of that said, once I realized that I had a virus and that I was wrestling with it, I knew that I needed to reinstall my operating system and install a new operating system, since almost everything that I had in my life had been contaminated by the virus from the narcissist in my life from childhood. So this is where we get into healing. Computers today have what is called a system restore point, where you can restore your computer back to a time before you met the virus and downloaded it. I'm going to put something on the screen here. Okay, what I have on the screen here is an example of what it looks like before you reset your computer back to its original state. On the screen it says, "This will remove your personal files and apps from your PC and restore all settings to their defaults. If you use file history, make sure the latest versions of your files were copied to your file history drive before you proceed. Your PC will restart." So, and then they have the reset button down there. So computers, again, they have what is called a system restore point, where you can restore your computer back to the time before you met the virus and downloaded it. Many of you may either have, many of you in this case will either have to do what is called a system restore point in your life, or you'll have to reinstall yourself back to a time before you met the narcissist and their viruses. While some of you may have to completely wipe out and start over by reinstalling the operating system on the computer, on your computer of life. So the difference between a restore point and totally reinstalling the operating system, the operating system is just what your computer uses to run it. It's the software on your computer that manages the hardware and the services that you use. So every time you power on your computer and it says Apple or Windows, that's your operating system. It's either Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, or Apple, Linux. I don't work with Mac computers that much, so I really don't know much besides OS X and Tiger, Leopard, Lion, Maverick, Yosemite, all that stuff. It's not important. But for those of you who don't know what an operating system is, that's what it is. If you took the operating system off of your computer, what would happen if you turned on your computer and you press the power button on the physical machine? It will say, "No boot device loaded," or "No boot device exists. Please install a boot device." So your computer will not run if you have an operating system. It's just a machine. You can't do anything with it other than just harvest it for parts. On the contrary, a system restore point is where you just restore your computer back to the previous time and the way that your computer worked before you installed the virus. So if you installed the virus on your computer at 1:30 on a Wednesday afternoon, your computer will usually keep, if you have it set up, what is called a restore point, where you can go back at 12 o'clock Wednesday afternoon and reinstall itself with all the settings and everything that you had on that computer before you installed that virus on there. So you don't have to go back and completely wipe out everything and all of your files will be lost. You're just going back to a previous time in that day before you met the virus. So just like in real life, depending on the severity of the narcissistic abuse that you've experienced, you have to do one or either of these. And this process requires lots of relearning and unbrainwashing yourself. Let me just get this on the screen here. Okay, so yes, uninstalling your operating system or going back to a system restore point will require unlearning and unbrainwashing yourself from the lies, the false hope, and the illusions that the narcissist tried to get you to believe about them or about yourself, which is causing your hard drives to break down or go crazy every day and not function properly. So the narcissist is projecting all sorts of stuff into your psyche, again, which is what I referred to as your CPU, your central processing unit, like a computer has one. And they're trying to download all of these malicious code and these viruses, which are lies, that can destroy your person. And it is our job to relearn and to unbrainwash ourselves from this. So this is one way for how we can go back and do a system restore point, or uninstall our operating system and go back. I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but just like the picture on the screen, we have to relearn the truth. For a lot of people, we have to relearn the truth. I had to do this because I was not sure what it was that I believed, because the narcissists in my life had projected and put this image of themselves out, to pretend. It seemed like they were pretending to be something that they weren't, and I wasn't sure that what they had claimed to be true actually was. So I had to go back and test everything to make sure that what I believed was true. As Christians, we're called to examine our faith to see, to examine ourselves to see if we're actually in the faith. We're called to prove all things, the Bible says in 1 Thessalonians 5:21, to prove all things, hold fast to that which is good. And once we will know the truth will set us free, as Jesus said in John 8:32. Now, the idea of resetting your computer of life back to a time before you met the narcissist, or uninstalling your operating system, it may sound like a scary thing to do. It may sound scary, but I want you to rest assured, because God, who created you, did not leave you in darkness. He loves you so much that he has given you everything that you need for this crazy thing called life, so that you won't have to navigate in the darkness. You who are listening to this, you were created, and you were created wonderfully, intelligently, and fearfully. And God gave you an instruction manual for how to reinstall yourself from all the junk that the narcissists in your life and the wicked people who installed all of these viruses and this malicious code and all this stuff onto your computer, which is your person, so that you can know how to love again, so that you can know what truth is, and so that you can undo all of the lies that you believed about yourself and the lies that you have believed or have been tempted to believe by the narcissist's fake realities that they projected onto you. So that you can have that true freedom and know who you are, and you can become even better than before you met the narcissist who installed that virus onto your system of your mind and your heart and your spirit. You must be born again through Jesus Christ. So all of these programs that were lost in your computer and contaminated by that virus that the narcissist put onto you, the programs of love and truth and joy and happiness and freedom and peace and confidence and a sound mind and patience, kindness, goodness, all of these things are there for you to reinstall. Those things that were lost. Your understanding of what truth was, perhaps. Even that. All of these things that you feel were lost. Beloved, you can reinstall them and use for your wholeness. Because God loves you just that much. He's an amazing Father. I personally had a lot of files that I had to throw away, which were bad memories, meaning that the pain that I had to deal with that, and the desire for justice to be served on earth, because justice will be served in heaven, by the way. So any memories, bad memories that we have, any expectations that we had, or even have any beliefs about ourselves or about others or the world in general, any peace that you had that was robbed, peace in my case as well that was robbed. I had a lot of anxiety as well from childhood, so I had to throw away many of those contaminated files and reinstall them with God's truth and His Word, and how I was originally designed to operate and function apart from the narcissist or any person, and looking at things through their perspective and constantly trying to people please and etc., etc. That is not the way God designed us to live. Galatians 5:1 says, "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage." Though this is talking about the law, the entire Christian life is about being set free and having an easy yoke, which is Christ. His yoke is easy and His burden is light. We don't have to go through life suffering mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Though we may suffer in the natural, we are healed through Jesus Christ and His truth, which sets us free. Again, John 8:32. So I had to throw away many of those contaminated files and reinstall them with God's truth and His Word and how I was originally designed and purposed to operate and function apart from the narcissist or any person in my life. So now my operating system or my computer is clean. My computer doesn't need a crutch to function. A lot of people turn to cigarettes and drugs and all sorts of supporting things, material things, even to pacify the pain, alcohol, etc., entertainment. My computer doesn't need a crutch to function. It is simply using the operating system that it was originally designed to use to function fast, efficiently, and freely. God designed our operating system. He put love, truth, the desire for justice, peace, confidence, freedom, having a sound mind, kindness, goodness, all of these things. We didn't come up with that. You look at an infant and they already have love built inside of them. They didn't put that there. They have a desire for justice. They understand what peace is. They can read people's spirits. Even dogs and cats and animals can read people's spirits. They can sense those toxic energies and stuff. I'm not talking about new age energies. I'm just kind of using that word out there. But you understand the idea. So, I hope. So, I'm kind of a nerd. So, one of my favorite computer brands is MSI. And your operating system, if you're familiar with that, it would be running better than an MSI computer by far if you apply truth to your life. The amazing thing about God and His Word is that in it, He gives you the antivirus software to install on your computer so that you can properly deal with hackers, narcissists in this case, who try to install themselves on your system. You will never, ever be left suffering in this life. But God and His Word is always there to rescue you and bring you back to that original state of peace and freedom that He designed you to have when He manufactured you, when He made you at the factory. So God did not design us to be 100% self-sufficient, which is why everyone as a human being has a desire early on from love before they get messed up in this life. We all have a desire for love so strongly built inside of us. And so something or somebody comes in and installs viruses on our consciences and on our psyches to try to get to believe otherwise. That's what Satan wants to do. He uses the narcissist again for that. So we will love something and we will crave social interaction to some degree because, again, God designed us to be social creatures. While it is sad that most people in this world have chosen to follow Satan and his social structure for behavior, hence narcissists, God and His people who are a reflection of Him, and again, I'm talking about true biblical, love-filled, spirit-filled, holy and pure Christians. I'm not talking about false Christians or cults or anything like Jehovah's Witnesses or the RCC or anything like that. I'm not talking about church people who go to church every Sunday or Wednesday who are caught up in a false system and deceiving themselves and being hypocrites. I'm talking about true spirit-filled Christians who are known by their fruit, who are known by their love, who are walking in the Spirit, who are walking in righteousness, who are walking in the light, who love the Lord, who hide the word in their hearts, who do not walk in hypocrisy, who are humble, not filled up with pride, who manifest the fruits of the Spirit, who love others, who love God. These people are also out there, and they are there for you as well. And He wants you to be set free with them. The only difference between a non-believer and a believer is that the believer has chosen to follow God's ways instead of stumbling and bumbling in this world and turning to material things and this world that is vanishing away to pacify their hurts and to fall into the blue pill into believing that they're actually okay without God. That is a deception. They are now becoming the author and the God of their own lives by trying to redefine what is good and what is evil, just as it was in the book of Genesis when Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Her understanding was opened, her eyes were opened, not in a good way, and Adam and Eve saw that they were naked, and they fled from God, and they now had knowledge of the law, which is what the tree was. That's a whole nother topic. I don't want to chase a rabbit trail right now. I'm aware that I can sometimes get kind of long-winded. So please understand that when I say that we need to give our lives to Christ, that I am not talking about joining a church. I'm not talking about joining an organization. And I do not believe that going to a church or being a part of a church building or any organization, a religious organization, is necessary to be a Christian. I am talking about a personal relationship with God through his son, Jesus Christ, who gave his life and died for you so that you may have life abundantly. That's it. So that you may be healed and to walk in his ways. That is it. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. And to grow in that understanding, of course, there is more to it than that. We do have to grow, but that is the gist of it. And when you are born again, you will grow and you will desire the milk of the word, just as a baby desires milk. The milk being the word of God, which is, again, how we will reset ourselves to understand truth. That is the operating system, to understand what love is and truth and freedom. That's, in essence, what the Bible is God telling us to have a relationship with us, saying that he wants to have a relationship with us and how we can have that and how we can have life through Jesus Christ, have it more abundantly. History of him working through man and, how man has rejected him. So that helps us to have understanding. I'm not going to be too detailed with these things right now because I want to keep these videos relatively short. I know they're not short, but I'm going to move on. So what you have to do is to surrender your own broken operating system and your broken computer to Jesus Christ and allow him to fix it for you and to restore all of those old programs that you miss so much, like love and understanding and truth and having a sound mind and just being free. He can restore you to an even better extent of what you could have even imagined, even before you met the narcissist, when you have to do that system restore point. So you surrender yourself that is broken to Jesus Christ, and we all need Jesus to fix us and heal us so that we won't go on in life living in deep emotional pains and memories and torment and sin day and night. He will take away those things, and you will save addictions, you will save money, you will save heartache, you will save drugs to try to medicate the pain, but that never truly satisfy. You can save all of that, and God has given you the answer. The answer is right there, but it is your choice to take that red pill. The red pill is not a drug. The blue pill is a drug. The blue pill is a deception. The red pill is truth. And God wants you to know the truth so you can be set free. And I do too, because I love you. I don't know you guys, but I love you. And I want you to know the freedom and the peace that you can have in Christ, who gave his life for you. God, he deeply loves you. And he always has been your absolute best to go to. And he has always had your absolute best interest at heart. Because we ourselves and all other people on this planet have been given free will, unfortunately, bad things will happen to us. But Jesus promises in John chapter 16, verse 33, John chapter 16, verse 33, he says, "These things I have spoken unto you, that ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world," he says. God has given us a way to walk in a restored relationship with him, and he designed for us to have this ever since the beginning of the world when he first created it and put man in the Garden of Eden. Having fellowship with him before Adam and Eve sinned and before sin entered the world. This is the way that we can have this life right now through Jesus Christ. That rich, abundant, peaceful, restored relationship with God, that painless, no anxieties, no obsessive compulsion, etc., etc. None of that. Because we can be a new creation. Now, I understand a lot of people don't like change, and there are probably a lot of people out there who are listening to this who don't like the idea of change. And they say that, oh, if I change, then, I might not have any friends, and, being a Christian, that's kind of corny, and that's lame, and I might lose my friends, and people might look at me funny, and I might not get this promotion, or I might have to give up the things that I like to do, which are not good for me, but hey, I want to live life. Look, if you are trying to impress people who are not walking in the truth, what kind of friends do you have? If you are trying to impress a job or a coworker or a boss or something, and they're trying to get you to compromise the truth, and they're trying to get you to compromise integrity and to do the right thing, what kind of boss is that? What kind of corporation is that? And where is that going to lead for you or your family? If you're afraid of walking in the light and walking in the truth because people might be annoyed with you, the only people who are afraid of the light are those who are walking in darkness. Why would you want to impress people who are in the dark? Unless you yourself are in the dark and don't want to be exposed. Hello. Misery loves company. We are not about misery here. We are about getting free. I don't believe in victims. Or should I say the mindset of being a victim. So this is a necessary reality check for some people. Again, I say these things in love because I want you to understand the truth and get free. These things are deceptive that we pick up in life, these philosophies that we somehow make a part of ourselves because we want to be accepted and we don't like being rejected by this world and the garbage in this world. Don't make yourself attractive to garbage. Don't try to blend in with garbage. Make yourself attractive by loving the truth. You become attractive by doing the right thing. You become attractive by being real. And God, he says he resists the proud, but he gives grace unto the humble in James 4:6. If you keep living a life in darkness, where is that going to end? On the contrary, if you live a life in the light, which is truth, where is that going to end? Yeah, there might be some consequences. People aren't going to like you because they're in darkness and, they're going to start picking on you and calling you a goody two-shoes and, But why would you want to impress those people who are walking in darkness, who don't care anything about your soul? And they only want to keep perpetuating this delusion that they're living in by being blue-pilled and doing all sorts of toxic things to themselves, like drinking and being addicted to things that don't matter and that are destroying them. And they want you to be a part of that too so they can feel better about themselves. Come on. Jesus Christ is the way out of your suffering and the way to freedom. Freedom comes when you know the truth and when you learn to tackle difficult or scary things and head on, rather than running away from life's problems and life's responsibilities that we have to take care of. That is being a child. Children do that. And when children do that, they get in trouble because it's not right. We don't run away from responsibility. If you have a bill collector calling you over and over again, you have an unpaid bill, do you think that ignoring the phone calls and the emails and the text messages and all that, do you think that's going to end well? Pretty soon you're going to have the repo man at your door. And your credit's going to be messed up. Your name's going to be messed up. It's going to be hard for you to do anything. Your account's going to be locked up. You're going to have a reputation that's going to be pretty difficult to build back up. You're going to have other problems as well. So why do we think that we can run away from the truth and everything's going to be okay? That we can ignore the calling that wisdom is crying out in the streets to repent and to turn to Christ and to walk in the light so that we can be set free? Why do we think that we can hang up the phone or ignore it when Jesus is calling? That's something to think about. We only have so much time here on earth. Let's make the best of it. God is there for you, and he understands, and he will bear your burdens as he promises. He is not up there scowling at you and saying, oh, how disgusting, and no. God is not like that. He is not surprised by the stuff that we go through in life. He's not caught off guard by when we sin or anything like that. He is all-knowing. He knows the future. He formed you in your mother's womb. He created you fearfully and wonderfully. It is an error to think that we are just so bad that we can't go to God for anything and that God is somehow ashamed of us or disgusted at us or that he's going to get us if we ever come to him and repent and to try to have a relationship with him. And I think more often people are afraid of what other people will think if they become, if they begin to give their lives to God. But taking care of business is a discipline that is necessary if you are to ever get truly free. God is there with you, and he understands, and he will bear your burdens as he promises that he will. Jesus says that his yoke is easy and his burdens are light. And this means that when you are in Christ, that you are no longer going to have these heavy burdens to carry around with you as long as you live here on earth that will drag you down spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. You don't have to go through that. Philippians 4:7 promises. It says, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and your minds through Jesus. A peace that passes all understanding? The Bible also says that the natural man receives not the things of God. The things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. So the natural man can't understand or receive the things of the Spirit of God, because when you talk about God, to the natural man who wasn't born again, these things sound like foolishness unto him. And they just think, oh, that's just a fairy tale, or oh, that's just nonsense to try to control people or something like that. And how can God understand me because I've gone through so much? And listen, that is a choice that you make. And God does not want you to perish. He loves you. God is love. And I love you, which is why I'm telling you this. I don't care what people think of me. Because I know the truth, and the truth is what sets free. And when you have freedom, what else matters? Because this world is full of lies. Lies are the opposite of freedom. The philosophies and ideologies and mindsets of this world that this world is controlled by and the systems therein are built upon lies, upon lies, upon lies. You can just look at the political system and see just lies everywhere. You can look at the religious systems and see there's just lies everywhere. But Jesus did not come to get people caught up in politics, neither did he come to get them caught up in religion. Jesus said, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. That's not religion. That's a personal choice that you make. When I say the word religion, I'm talking about organized, dominating, crippling, hypocritical, man-made systems, hence the word system, that kills intimacy with God and with fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. Religion is void of love, and in many ways it is void of truth, though they try to stand on the illusion of love and truth. So God, he already did everything for you to come to him. He came and died through his son, Jesus Christ, so that you may have life. God is patient. He is understanding. He knows everything about you already, so you can't hide anything from him. There's no surprise for him. He's compassionate. He's tender. He's understanding. And his will, he says, is for none to perish. That's what he says. He does not want you to perish. This is why he came and died through Jesus Christ. He is giving you the time to come to him and to be healed, to overcome and to uproot all of those things that you didn't even know were buried deep within you. Things that probably happened way back before you can even remember when you were a really, really young kid. Things that you've made a part of your understanding and your personality that should not be there. That are causing you all sorts of problems today and hurts and heartaches, and you're not sure where they came from. He will deal with all of that. That's what it means to be born again. He wants you to get healed and to get free from the abuses caused by others in this life, and to give you life abundantly, as he says that he will give you in John chapter 10, verse 10. Now, we have to, getting back on topic with the reinstalling our computer operating system. Now, we have to reinstall our computer operating system or to do a restore point because God created us with emotions, and because we are emotional beings and we are also logical beings, we cannot go on pretending like the narcissists who hurt us were actually not there when they actually did do damage in reality, and they have done evil things to us. Pain is normal. If you stub your toe against the wall, or somebody accidentally hammers a nail through your finger or something, it's gonna hurt. So pain is inevitable. Emotions, the pain is there. And narcissistic abuse is so long-term and damaging. Like, it causes so much chaos. And because we are human beings who are not able to forget, that pain that we feel from the things that happen to us, that we may even perhaps try to self-medicate, can be completely healed through the operating system of Jesus and his word. He gives us the wisdom on how to handle these situations, which is what the Bible is. It is an instruction manual. Reinstall those things that were lost through abuse, like love and truth and understanding and knowledge and wisdom and a sound mind and peace, etc., goodness, kindness. It's important to understand the logical conclusions of where these traits lead to. Again, if we live a life of death and darkness, where is that going to lead? How are others around us going to be affected? If I make this choice, what's going to happen? See, we have to think like that. God gives us wisdom on how to handle situations. And the Bible is filled with wisdom for how to navigate through this life and how to handle people and to heal ourselves and to know God as well. How we can apply his truth to heal, I should say. So once you understand this first point about getting true healing and how to install your new operating system so that you can be free, there are still many things that you will have to do to grow as an individual and protect yourself. And that will require you to gain knowledge and wisdom and understanding about this world and about yourself, about who the narcissist actually is, and to understand how they installed the virus onto your system. And you have to learn and study who God is and learn about life in general, what truth is, what love is, etc., etc. This will take perhaps a lifetime, and everyone learns at different speeds. And we all have to grow. But remember that knowledge is power and truth is what sets free. Just like the image on the screen here. We have to study. We have to show ourselves approved unto God, but we have to study if we're going to understand what the truth is and we're going to get the right information. We have to study the right things. We have to prove all things and hold fast to that which is good. I personally have been a highly studious person for most of my teen and adult life, and it has been the best decision that I've ever made, and my emotions, my wisdom, and my mind has been rather peaceful as a result. While I have been through many terrible circumstances in life and have been taken advantage of by those closest to me, in many ways, I've had a peace that surpasses all understanding through all of it, because I have guarded my mind and my heart with God's truth, because I have guarded my mind with His wisdom, and I have applied that in my life. I haven't just guarded, I haven't just read these things, but I have applied it to my life. I have held fast to His promises, and I take His knowledge and I apply it to my life, and I use that to go out and help other people as well, while I also help myself. So while many people have thrown up the red flag, or the white flag, I'm sorry, God has given me the strength to persevere and remain wise and to remain prudent in the midst of fires that no human being on earth should ever experience. Many people turn to drugs. Many people commit suicide. Unfortunately, many people, they turn to kill others. They become bitter. They turn their backs on God. They hate people. They become isolated. They become homeless. These are things that have happened to people who are or have been in relationships with narcissistically abusive people. You do not have to be one of those. There's a movie that recently came out. I'll say this last thing. It's called The Joker. And The Joker is a strong movie that triggers a lot of people. It deals with childhood abuse and how abuse, or in this case, what the Joker was going through was narcissistic abuse. Go figure. What is sad is that that movie is in a light glorifying the choice that the Joker made to become the Joker after enduring deep psychological warfare from his family at a young age. What this movie does not show you, and I'm building off of what the Watchman said over at his channel, I'll leave a link in the description, is that there are many people who have endured similar and worse forms of childhood narcissistic abuse, and they do not turn into the Joker or Jokers in general. This movie does not show the power of truth. It does not show the power of God to overcome darkness. It doesn't show the power of Jesus Christ. There are people, again, who have endured far worse than what the Joker did in that movie, and they did not turn into Jokers. They chose to fight evil with good. They did not allow themselves to be overcome by evil. But they overcame evil with making the right choices and becoming a stronger and better person because of that. Hollywood glorifies evil. That is a fact. We all know that. And this must be exposed because this is spiritual warfare upon the minds of our nation. And we are called to fear no evil as well. But again, we are called to overcome evil with good. And it is truth, which is what sets free. The movie enables people to feel sorry for the Joker. But this is just a manipulative way to try to portray the image of evil as a victim. So be on guard against that. This is disinformation being spread subtly by our society, which wants to destroy people, go figure. And Joker himself became a narcissist, and he is now a victim for becoming a narcissist. And the writers of that movie, the Joker is not a real person, but the writers, it is a created script. It is a story that a group of people sat down and created. So they want this idea, I should say, for people to feel sorry for narcissistic abusers or narcissistic people and glorifying evil, feeling sorry for evil, etc., etc. So I'm going to end this video here. There will be a part 2. In part 2 of this video for healing from narcissistic abuse, we're immediately going to get into how to cut contact with a narcissist, how to deal with narcissists, how to apply the truths that we spoke about in this video to your life. And we're going to go into detail and talking about little things about concerning how to get healing from abuse. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you over in part 2. Take care.